Good morning, class. My name is Christina, and welcome to Christina's Super Sunday Talk Show host. This morning, I have here with me my mother, Miss Janie Contreras, and as you can tell based off of her attire, she is ready for the Cowboys game today. So today on our course, we are going to be speaking on the topic teen pregnancy. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and ask her a couple of questions and we're going to go ahead and go from there. But before we continue, if you would like to take a minute and introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon. And my name is Janie Contreras, and this is my daughter, Christina. I'm very proud of her. She's going to lead the interview, and that's it. Thank you. Oh, I'm from Sabinal, Texas, and I'm a Cowboys fan.
And just a little bit about me before we continue. My primary residence is in San Antonio with my husband. However, currently I am stationed overseas. I am in South Korea. I'm an active duty service member. I really enjoy my time over there, but I'll be home soon. And I love the University of Texas, San Antonio. Great. I'm glad to be here, and I'm finishing up my degree this semester, so really excited. So. So to begin, my mom is a teenage mother. So just a open-ended question here. How did it initially feel, whenever you first found out you're pregnant? How was that reaction to you, like being at that young age? I believe you said you were 16, right, Mom?
I was 16. I was 15, and I had her at 16.
Yes.
So I was teenage pregnancy. This was way back 37 years ago with my first daughter. It was scary. And of course, we try to advocate about teenage pregnancy and with STDs, with everything that goes with it. And having a child that young is scary, and it's rough. It's tougher. Still to this day, this is the big thing that we're trying to advocate. On teenage pregnancy, but it was scary. And I had lost my mother. I was getting raised pretty much by my older brothers. And I come from a big family, and of course, a very patriarch family. But then losing my mother she was a matriarch. And having lost that, and I felt lost and scared and lonely. And I guess it was kind of my boyfriend. We were high school sweethearts. It was just a sense of ownership at that point. And I I want to describe it if if I got pregnant, I wasn't going to lose someone, and someone was going to love me. So as just to think back, that's really how I felt. So I did, I did. I was in denial for most of the pregnancy until I couldn't hide it anymore. But that was pretty much the beginning of it. That's all I could feel is denial and scared, and until it came to like, okay, this baby bump going to be hidden anymore. But it's difficult. It's difficult and very scary. And of course, now I'm a huge advocate. I am studying for my master's in social work at Texas Tech University. So I'm proud of UTSA, of my daughter in UTSA. So we are a blended family. We have a house divided, but it- having a child so early, and you're always going to have those hurdles, and have these hurdles in life, having a child at 16. And then one thing I know that I didn't do is I didn't get pregnant right away. I waited 5 years until having you, and I was 21 still, but that was one of my biggest hurdles there. Hmm.
Yeah, well, I can, hearing that and still hearing it from the first time she told me, it definitely just is very motivating and can help you build and become strong at a very young age. I don't have any children personally, but even now at 33 years old, like if I find out I'm pregnant, I'll still be, shocked and a little bit nervous on, the journey. So I can't imagine at 16 years old
Hmm.
how that must have felt. Um, But after that, how did you stay motivated, and what helped you really become grounded on this journey?
My journey becoming grounded. Well, I always came from a very grounded family, so I believe that that's just something that was instilled inside in me, and I just had very supportive in-laws. I had supportive family that did help me throughout my journey, and believing in me and believing that I could, start a family that young. And I had a very supportive husband. We are still, we went ahead and had 4 kids, and we've been married for 38 years this year. So that has also been a big factor to being resilient at that age. But I know that a lot of them don't have this, but I did, and I was blessed that I did. And having that support is a big one, but that's that's what my journey has been like as a teenage mother, because I was once a teenage mother, so I know what it feels like. And we're trying to and another important thing that I want to say about teenage pregnancy, a lot of it goes back to like it's like a generational curse. Or my mother, no, my mother was 27 before she had her first child. Well, 24, I'm sorry, she was 24 years old before she had her first child. And none of my daughters, had were teenage pregnancies, teenage mothers. So it's something that does happen, and happens sometimes to the best of us, as we want to look at it sometimes. And it's also how we decide to do this journey, and the choices we make. So that's what I think. It, the but also the support.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, most definitely. And I'm glad to hear that. It's great to have that great support system, and to have, of course, a partner to motivate you and to keep you steady. And it was hard as well. So my father, he was in the Navy. He's a veteran, and he was gone a lot. So my mom, we were in San Diego, California. That's where I was born, and my older sister as well. And it was hard to raise us, with my dad always being gone. But still, just having that foundation, knowing that he's there, and having a supportive family really helped a lot. So my follow-up question to you is, what advice would you give to other, like, to teenage pregnancy mothers right now, that don't have that support, or don't have a strong family? Because not all of us, are blessed to have that. So what do you think like could help more? What resources would you say?
I feel that we have a lot of resources, but also our cultural background doesn't allow us. Right now I am interning at Uvalde ISD, CISD, and a lot of the thing is just the cultural background that a lot of families don't don't use, because of the stigma, or like, I don't want my child on birth control, I don't want this. And I just for the young girls out there, for every teenage girl and boy, protect yourself. There's resources. Go to your counselor, speak to your nurse. There is help out there. There is, you can reach out to a friend, reach out to an adult if you possibly can. And as much as I would say, speak to your parents, speak to your grandparents, it's difficult. Like I said, it's difficult with our culture, being Latina, being Mexicana. A lot of grandmas, abuelas, they don't want to talk about this. They rather just say, don't do it, no lo hagas. But in reality, abstinence, of course, again, and use protection, and most important, use protection to prevent any STDs, any STIs, and pregnancy. A lot of this birth control there's out there. So if you can, I that's what I am pushing for and recommending for. It's scary. It's scary, especially without any support. So that's what I recommend. And I know, like, a lot of girls like to go to college, and in college, and it's like there's resources. I'm sure in UTSA they have tons of resources out there and pamphlets and help you. So that's what I recommend. It's hard it's hard. I'm not saying it was an easy journey, because it was difficult raising young children at the end. But right now, I mean, I can sit there, and I'm visiting my daughter right now, and I can sit there, that we're enjoying some coffee, and I'm kind of living my best life now. However, I'm still studying. Like I said, I just went back to school. I waited until I raised my children
Hmm.
and for me to return back to school. But that's what
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that she's visiting right now. Our background, it's not South Korea. I'm actually in training. I'm in North Carolina. I'm a stateside, so just here for the weekend. So we're
doing.
enjoying our time here. But based off of what you were saying, like I agree with you completely. Like with the resources and as the years pass and you know, being 2025, there's so many like mental health resources and for your morale and your overall well-being. To help you in these situations, regardless if it's teen pregnancy or whatever the situation may be. I'm glad that we have so many resources through schools, even through your employer, especially through the military. That's why I love, being in the military on how they help you because it's kind of hard when you're away from your family. But yeah, I thank you for sharing all your journey and everything here with me today. It's just, it's amazing. So what made you feel like, hey, this is the time? Why did you wait 5 years and be like, hey, I want to wait now to have a kid? You think it helped you and
I I mean I yeah, I go back to what I'm gonna retract maybe what I said, that I wanted to get pregnant, but I didn't know any other way, finding something that belonged to me. And I feel like a lot of them trying to escape a situation, they want to do that sense of ownership, but I knew that I didn't want to also I wanted to wait. I wanted until 5 years later until we decided to have you. It was hard raising a child at 16. So, even though my husband took his and said, "Hey, I'm joining the military. We're gonna do this. We're gonna figure something out," and we follow. But I just wanted to wait and make sure that I gave her everything that I could instead of having 2 to 3 children. At such a young age, I wanted to wait and and have each time with each one of y'all. So that's what we decided to wait. Yeah. And still, when I had you, I was kind of like, oh, I'm pregnant again. I felt like that when I got pregnant with you, like I'm pregnant again. I didn't want to. I guess I didn't want to fall in that again in that little
that category,
and that's
to say, or
like yeah, like in that the stigma of teenage pregnancy, the
yeah,
not the stigma, but kind of the what is
yeah,
it? Mm-hmm.
yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Like, so, just hearing what based off of what she said, with the teenage pregnancy, you're not alone and it's completely normal. My sister was born in what, 1988?
Mm-hmm.
So this was in 1988. So,
We didn't have
going through the
resources.
years and people, I feel like within the recent years, people are like, oh, teenage pregnancy is at a rise. It's at an all-time high, this year or like maybe 10 years ago in 2015. But it's like, no, like teenage pregnancy has been going on throughout the years, Again, this is 1988. So it's like, it's wow.
37 years later,
Yeah,
yeah, still.
you're not alone. And, there is, um, going back to there is those resources and people that can help you and even if you don't have that that direct family at home with counselors and friends and there's always someone there to help you. This is not related to teenage pregnancy it's because but just going off of like when you're seeking mental resources or anything that you may need. It's hard because I'm 14-hour time difference currently away from my family. So by the time I get off of work, everyone is asleep. My husband is gone. And sometimes I just feel like I need someone to talk to or kind of get sad in a way. But I have, I did meet some great people there where I'm at, and you have resources you can reach out to. So most definitely, that's, the best on making sure that you have the connection with people to help it. And so one giveaway that you would say just to help our viewers here today, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
I say, as a parent, talk to your children, um, talk to them. You don't know what they're feeling. That's their world right now. High school is their world. And there's nothing else. Like, oh, we can always say, well, that when you go to college, it's different, but that's their world. That's where they're at right now. And to them, it's everything. So, and that boy may just be, or that girl might just be everything in their life. There's nothing
Mhm.
more past that. So just talk to them, try to be open to them about it. Let's break these generational curses.
Mhm.
Let's break these stigmas. Let's break this, it's okay, get them on birth control. It's okay to just discuss, condoms and discuss safety and protection with them. And that's important because even when I was raising y'all, we were kind of skeptical about doing that. And it's like, no, we need to be real about this.
Mhm.
We need to be real about what they're feeling, not about what we felt, not about what we're feeling. Because it's as a parent, it's scary. We don't want to admit that, hey, this is what's going on, and talk about, abstinence and purity and everything. Just so that's what I say. Talk to your children. It's okay. Be open and even though it's hard for us, like I said, let's make that just make baby steps. It takes little baby steps just to reach to them and they know and love them and make them feel safe and mhm.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Exactly, because when you're in high school, you think you're on top of the world, you think you have everything, and you're so young mindset. You still have a lot of growth even after high school, throughout college, and just talk to your children and just be open with them. And whether if it's not your child, if it's your sister in high school, or so just talk to them and see how they feel, because they never want to open up. They're at that age where they don't want to open up or want to be like very secluded, but just talk to them and have them open up to you. That's really the best. But I want to, thank you for coming on today and spending some time here with me today on your Sunday. We're gonna let you go so you can get ready for your game. But thank y'all for listening, and we'll be back next week with another Christina Super Sunday.
Yes,
So
I
thank
don't know
you,
what Christina's thing is, but mine is Reckham and yours is
Road Runners.
all right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.